Good for children.
Hey everybody, we're back with our next installment of our 12 Days of Christmas series. With me on mic, we have Rick. How's it going, sir?
Hi.
We have John.
What Rick said.
Virginia's here as well.
What John said, Rick said.
And Chris is going to say what Virginia said, John said, Rick said.
I was just going to say ho, ho, ho.
Oh. All right. We are trying to keep these episodes around 20 minutes. So I have 20 minutes on my timer. I'm going to hit that right now. And what we're going to talk about today is Christmas traditions, not just Christmas traditions around the world, but also Christmas family traditions that we have or that we may have heard of that might, I won't say they're unusual, but just maybe it's something that you do in your family that other families might not do or something like that. Like, you know, get oiled up and wrestle or something like that, you know. You know, do the feats of strength with the that's Frank Costanza. What was it? What,
it was a Festivus thing, not a Christmas.
Festivus, yeah, Festivus. Festivus for the rest of us. All right, so I have a list of Christmas traditions from around the world, and this mostly has to do with food. This is like the stuff that they eat at Christmas around the world, and I thought I'd read off some of these. Before I do you guys have anything special that you remember doing on Christmas when you were kids, or that you try to do now? Rick, what about you?
Well, there was always the holiday cannibalism exemption.
Crickets.
Crickets. No, we had. I mean,
because I said that, and then you just kind of sat there.
By exemption, you mean that's the one day you don't do it?
No, that's the one day it's allowed.
Well, that is better, I guess.
It would help.
Okay, something cut out. I did not hear what you said.
Okay,
something cut out. I did not hear what you said at all.
Just take two, Rick.
Let's start over. Rick, what about you?
Every year we would kill and eat a homeless person.
Holy shit!
Oh, yeah.
No, we didn't. I mean,
everybody does that.
Aside from the annual, my mother getting pissed at us because we weren't taking things seriously enough, we really didn't have any particular Christmas traditions.
The one thing I remember, and this was not necessarily when I was a kid, like a child, but when I got to be a teenager, my parents got divorced when I was around 15 or so. So Christmas turned into a thing where we would wake up and spend Christmas morning at my mom's house. And I was old enough to drive. So then we got in the car, my brother and I got in the car, and we would drive over to my dad's house, and we'd spend Christmas night at his house. And so it kind of got to be a tradition that we would go over to my dad's, and we would have like a Christmas dinner, and we would open some presents, and then we would go to the movies, because there's always a movie that opens on Christmas. And I remember going to see Interview with a Vampire on Christmas Day. I remember going, and these were at like the 99-cent theater, so they may have already been out for a couple of months. I think Three Musketeers was released on Christmas Day. I went to see. No, it wasn't Three Musketeers. It was Robin Hood, the one with Kevin Costner. We saw that on Christmas Day. It was released. and I can't remember all the ones.
A good movie.
But Christmas Day is like a big release day for movies, because a lot of people, they have Christmas, they have dinner, and then at night you've got all your family are in from another city, and now you don't have anything to do. Yeah. All the stores are closed. So what's open?
Hang around and talk to them. So yes.
Well, you've been talking to them all day. You've already gotten into political arguments. You've already watched all the sports. And
I'm not saying that with judgment. If it came across that way, I apologize. It's not. No, I'm serious.
Yeah. So you can either go to the local Chinese restaurant, Chinese buffet, or you can go to the movies, or you can do both, because everything else is closed. Virginia, you got anything?
Something that we would do, well, we always had tamales on Christmas Eve. That's a pretty common South Texas thing, which is like ground pork meat in corn husks.
Oh yeah, I know what tamales are.
Which my family really loves, and I never really cared for. Please don't tell them. But something that I like that we did when we were kids that we now also carry on with my nieces and nephews is we would go look for Santa's sleigh on Christmas Eve because you could see the red blinking light that was Rudolph. And usually there would be an airplane passing by just about that time. So you could see a red light flashing in the sky. That meant it was time to go to bed because Santa was almost there.
We used to pull up the NORAD Santa website on Christmas Eve. And it was really smart because it knew where you were. So Santa would always be, at night. If you looked at it during the day, Santa was like in Japan or something like that. But if you looked at it at night when it was about bedtime, Santa would always be close, but not quite there. And even if the kids wouldn't go to bed, it was like he's getting closer, he would like go around you, and keep circling back, So, Chris, what about you?
I've been thinking about it. When we were kids, we were in an apartment in the Bronx. So one of the biggest things that we did every Christmas Eve and Christmas morning was WPIX used to play the Yule log. And it was just basically like a close-up of a fireplace that you'd put on your TV that just played Christmas song after Christmas song and after Christmas song. They recently brought that back. The only other thing I can really think of that we did almost religiously is when we had our house, we got like a stereo and we got this Arthur Fiedler Treasury of Christmas album that has like this Christmas medley that starts it. And for some reason, the vinyl version of that is so dynamic. I've gotten it on CD, I've gotten a digital download, and it just does not sound the same. I think it's a different recording. So if you can find that Arthur Fiedler Treasury of Christmas on vinyl, I would play that every Christmas morning. We still do when we go to my parents' house. Unfortunately, not having kids, and Laura works most Christmas, we don't do Christmas Day. We do Christmas Eve at her parents', and that was always her tradition. They always had a big Christmas Eve party. And we've recently tried to kind of take that over in the last couple of years. I used to do Christmas Day in my apartment when we first got married, but then everybody had kids. So now everybody stays home for Christmas because, they want to play with their toys. And, rightfully, they don't need to come to my boring house. So yeah, it's always been in flux, but I just remembered some small things from my childhood and, what we're trying to reestablish now. You'd think, growing up Italian, we would have done the 7 fishes and sort of that whole Christmas Eve orgy of food, but we never did. That's something I'd like to maybe try to institute, but that's a lot of cooking. You got to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to do that. So,
did you guys ever see the Yule log video that was released a few years ago that had what's the guy's name that plays Ron on Parks and Rec? John, I know you've seen Parks and Rec.
Ron Swanson is
Nick something.
Offerman?
Yeah.
Offerman, yeah.
So they did a Yule log, and basically, and it starts out like a regular Yule log. You see the log on the fire and it's close up, but then it pans out and he's sitting in a chair next to the fireplace with a glass of whiskey for an hour and doesn't say anything. He's looking at the camera, sipping his whiskey, smiling, looking at it, enjoying his whiskey. And that's it. For an hour, you're just watching him sit there and look at you.
At my office holiday Christmas party last year, they had on one of the monitors in the conference rooms, like each conference room had like a Yule log fireplace thing, and in one of them, it was it was a close up of Darth Vader when they set his body on fire, So like you see his helmet, but you had to look. 'Cause, like if you just glance at it, you just think it's like a Yule log.
Yule log, yeah.
Yeah, but like if you looked at it long enough, you recognize what it was. It was great. It's great.
Did you have any traditions growing up, or you have any now that you want?
I honestly I can't remember if we did this before I saw Scrooged or not. I think we did. I'm pretty sure we did. But the thing where you can open one gift on Christmas Eve. You get to open one on Christmas Eve of your presents, and you have to wait for Christmas Day for the rest of them. And I'm one of 7 kids. So when we got older, that's a lot of presents to give. When we got older, we would pick one. It'd be a secret Santa. Everybody would draw a name, so nobody knew who had whom. Nobody knew who everyone else had. You didn't know who had you. So we did that for several years. We hadn't done it in a while, in part because we've moved away. We're all separated and stuff. But as far as holiday traditions, I'd say that's it. Like nowadays, it's pretty standard. Family Christmas, we get up, kids open presents. We may or may not record them to prove to them later that at some point they were happy with something that we did. I don't know. We haven't discussed it, but in my mind, that's what we're doing. And Halima and I are always last. No, we're not always last. It just depends. But yeah, we all open presents on Christmas morning / afternoon, depending on how late we sleep. And then
we used to do
a
the thing.
Dinner.
Yeah, we used to do that with the kids, where we would let them open one gift on Christmas Eve. But the thing was, and they never really caught on to it. The one gift that they opened on Christmas Eve was always pajamas, because we always got them pajamas for Christmas, and we would give them to them on Christmas Eve so that they could get up the next day and they could be in their Christmas pajamas and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, well, that's cheating. Well,
they never really caught on.
You lay all the gifts out, and they can pick which one they open. Yeah.
No, because if we
put the tiny thing in the big box, and they go, oh, the big box. Like, no.
Yeah, no, it's my luck that I would do that, and then they would open their big gift on Christmas Eve, and then on Christmas Day it would be like a letdown.
Whatever.
Like, I opened the Xbox last night, and now here's my my shoes and my coat.
Then they want to be playing Xbox all night anyway, so it worked out.
Yeah, that's true. In Japan, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because this is something. My wife and I, every now and then. Now, granted, I don't have the best memory, even when I was younger, and had no excuse. But a few years ago, it was Christmas Eve. I've got to be quiet because I want to make sure Sharon can't hear me. And we're getting ready to deal with the presents, and she starts putting the Santa presents out on the couch, just on the couch. I'm like, we're not going to wrap them? She's like, no, we never wrap Santa's presents. And I'm like, yeah, we do. And she's like, no, we never did. I'm like, bullshit, we never did. And I was trying to think back, when I was a kid, no, just Santa had different wrapping paper than
exactly.
My parents did.
Yeah.
Do any of y'all do that?
Well, I mean, all the Santa presents got their own wrapping paper, but it was always the same wrapping paper for all of them. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have like 3 or 4 different kinds of wrapping paper and then call these Santa gifts. We tried to make it look like Santa had his own paper.
So you guys had segregated presents. You had mom and dad presents and Santa presents.
Yeah. Mom and dad's got to get some credit.
As a kid, they were all from Santa for us. I don't know. I did, again, no kids, so this is all new to me, guys. It's fascinating.
I feel like this could be like a whole separate little short thing. Like how do you deal with the Santa question? as a
Yeah.
kid and as an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you answer that some of the kids that you go to school with, Santa loves them more?
Well,
John, are you the oldest or the youngest or the middle?
I am on the younger side. I am 6 of 7. So I
So
have
I'm
a younger
wondering
sister.
if your older siblings like destroyed the Santa illusion for you way younger than most people would.
Yeah, I grew up in the hood. I never really bought it. So, I mean, I'm sure at some point I also. So here's how we do it, and I think this is probably how it was for me when I was a kid. Basically, it's yes, Santa is real, and Santa's, keeping a list and watching it and making sure that you're good, and so you get presents. But Santa's got to Santa's got a big job. Like Santa's got to watch every kid on the earth, and he's got to deliver a lot of presents. So parents help him out. So
He delegates.
Santa delegates. So
Yeah.
Santa will say, yes, he can have this. Yes, you can have that. No, he can't have that. But mom's got to go to the store and pick it up. That kind of thing. Like, and it's actually really cute because I have 2 kids, and my daughter is older, and she is still trying to maintain the illusion for her younger brother, even though he's pretty
That's
much got it.
adorable.
He's pretty much got it, and we don't like flat out lie, but we definitely, because we believe in magic in this household. Maybe Santa is real. Who knows? Does he enter our house through the chimney? Probably not, but there are many interpretations. But yeah, it's actually really cute. I should pay more attention so I can. We should definitely make this one of the days.
Let me mention before we run out of time that a couple of these that I had on this list. This is as far as food in other parts of the world. Japan, their big Christmas food is fried chicken, because back in the 70s, KFC ran like this huge campaign, this huge Christmas campaign, and it stuck. And now lots of Japanese people like to eat fried chicken on Christmas Day. Lithuania eats something that I cannot pronounce. Kucios. Kusios. Let's see what that is. It's a traditional Lithuanian Christmas dinner. This meal can take up to a week to prepare. Oh, it's 9 dishes. It's not just one kind of food. It's no meat, dairy, or hot food are part of this meal, and it includes fish, breads, and vegetables. It sounds delightful.
I consider fish meat.
Israel,
okay.
yeah, Israel. They eat latkes.
There's not
Germany.
a big Christmas tradition in Israel, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. You're probably right about that.
Just
Germany, they have a Christmas goose in Germany. Italy eats panettone. Chris,
Ew.
is that right?
Panettone, Pannatone.
It says Pannettone.
It's some kind of bread, I'm sure.
They may
Some
have
kind of
missed.
sweet
Yeah,
cracker?
yeah. The picture is it looks like a big cake.
Is it like a pizzelle or? I don't know. I'd have to look at it.
Yeah. It's a cake with candied fruit, chocolate, raisins, and nuts.
Oh, sure. I can picture that in my head. Yeah, my dad loves that. It's dry as hell. It's the worst.
Yeah, it looks pretty
Yeah.
good.
Well, the cake.
Merry Christmas.
And then like Virginia said, then they eat tamales. This says tamales is a Costa Rican tradition, but
It probably is.
It probably is.
But not
Yeah.
only.
in England they eat Christmas pudding, but it's it's the kind of pudding that I've never had, where it's like the bread that I guess it's bread
It's
that
more
you
like a
slice
cake.
into.
It's
Yeah,
more like a cake.
It-
I've had it.
yeah.
It's like most other English food, bland as hell.
kind of bland. Yeah,
I love you, my English friend.
I don't believe in salt. Wait a minute.
Although I have to say,
Olivo.
just as an apology, my stepfather's grandmother rather, lived with us for like the last 5 or 6 years of her life. She was like 95 years old, sharp as a tack until the day she died. I'm not even sure where she was from. Maybe Cornwall. Anyway, very, very, very English. And she made a trifle one time. If you've ever heard, trifle is as a noun, it's a dessert, and it's like this big. I mean, it's a huge bowl, and there's ladyfingers in it, and treacle, which is, yeah. Shut up, phone.
Go ahead. Now finish your thought. I'm not gonna cut you off.
It imagine just like the parfait that heaven eats, and that's a trifle, and it was just amazing. So while most English food is either scary or just totally devoid of flavor, trifle makes up for it.
And I want to mention the one that stands out on this list is that in Poland, their big Christmas food that they like to eat is cookies. So way to go, Poland. You're having cookies on Christmas. Nobody else is doing that.
Christmas cookies.
It's a special kind of cookie, but it literally says Poland. In Poland, they eat cookies. Okay. All right, so that's it for this episode. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna come back every day for the entire 12 days of Christmas. Make sure you join us for our Christmas party on the date. I think it's like the 20th. Anyway, it's the weekend before Christmas. It's the Saturday before Christmas. We're gonna watch the Star Wars Holiday Special live, and you'll be able to watch it with us. So join us for that.
I do have one.
Start premedicating now.
Throw it at me, Sean. Throw it at me. I got one.
All right. So be sure to come back tomorrow for Cosmic Potato, the Super Fan Talk Podcast Christmas Spectacular, when you might hear John say,
question. If you heard hashtag Christmas so white, would you assume that was a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm in Florida. It's every damn day.
Yeah.